Next up, we have a very special guest that's within the Solana ecosystem. He's helped many different projects and many different teams build many different solutions within the Solana ecosystem. NFTs became very popular on the Ethereum blockchain, but quickly we needed to find a way around the gas fees, and so we started to look at layer 1 solutions that were more cost effective. We had Polygon, there's several other players that are in the space, but somehow Solana took front row center with the NFTs, and here to talk about that is our good friend Vashi. Please welcome Vashi to the stage. Okay.
And make sure to head to the
Test. Works? It works. Hi, everybody. My name is Urori Vošević. People in the space mostly know me as Voshi because my screen name stuck around from the gaming background. My career started in gaming. I did esports event management for 13 years before going to crypto. Worked with Riot, Blizzard, Bethesda, EA, held ESL license for 10 years, and then finally last year decided to took a leap of faith and tried to find a career in crypto. Solana was the thing that made me consider this seriously because I find it really fascinating and thought that how different it was from everything else I met so far was, something worth exploring. And that became a reality just a few weeks later. I started learning everything about it, started getting some jobs in the system. I was a COO of a Dogecoin in Solana. I was a CPO for a wallet, for a Sulfur wallet that has over $7 billion staked through it, worth of Sol. And since then, on September, decided to start my own consultancy agency, which is working on helping crypto projects with anything from marketing, tokenomics, business strategy, you name it, we can do it. And this whole talk is going to be like a little intro to Solana NFTs, because I was here since before they became a thing, before there was any NFTs on chain, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So we are going to start with March last year, and I had really trouble finding this. This was the only mention of NFTs anywhere on Solana. It was called Soluble, which was a subdomain of Bonfida, which had a documentation saying that if you want to create an NFT, you should mint a token and then send an email containing an image to their email. And yeah, you created an NFT. Of course, it was just hosted in some database off-chain, and if you connected the wallet, you could see the NFT only on their site. But it's a really good starting point to see how far we've come from there to like 12 million NFTs now that we have printed on Solana. So first generative art collection on Solana was Solarians. Launched in April. April 7th, the first Solarian, which is this one, was minted. They sold out, I think, altogether 20,000 of them. You don't probably know about them, but that was the start. It still had no metadata on chain. It wasn't still possible, but they were, they had their whole platform where it was showing what your normal token was connected to, which was a picture. And then we go to the second collection that everybody knew at the time, which were Solpunks. Solpunks, to this day, divides people because at the same time they helped spark the interest in Solana NFTs and also made Ethereum Axis Forever on Twitter label Solana as the copy chain because, as you can guess, by looking at them, this was just 10,000 completely stolen CryptoPunks with gradient Solana background changed. Didn't stop the team making millions by selling them out on Solana. this is one of my favorite things from that time, and the thing we still really laugh about. When Moonrock Capital proudly tweeted how they acquired one of the rarest sol punks for 1.4k sol at the moment that was worth $260,000. The floor is now at 4, and wherever you see Moonrock Capital tweet about their new acquisitions, please remind them because it's still funny. And then we come to Metaplex. This picture is because this is the first NFT minted on Solana, Metaplex standard. Solana understood around June, beginning of June, that NFTs could be the next big thing, and probably the way that it was done before isn't the right way. They decided not to receive more emails and ordered to developers to start developing something that would allow us to actually have metadata on chain. That's how Metaplex was born. And in the next 2 months, through a lot of iterations and changes and improvements, this became a reality. It wasn't perfect, but it was working. As I said, first NFT minted by Metaplex standard is here and shows 2 of the developers that were working on Metaplex in the start. There were a few first collections that were launched on it, like there was a blondish collab, there was a Chiellini NFT for the Euro 2021 launch and so on. But nothing was still, going on. Not a lot of people were talking about it. One other thing that really helped the NFT become popular, let's say, on Solana was Phantom Wallet. It came out and it supported NFTs right away. It was really nice, slick UI, and all the NFTs that existed back then, they knew how to recognize them. They were showing them. People loved it. You just open the extension, you see your NFTs, really nice, clean experience, and people became more interested. And then finally, don't read this, but I just didn't know what to put on this slide. But in July, everything was kind of prepared. The on-chain contract was there, was working, a bit polished by then. But one thing that was missing was some rules about how JSON files should look, because so far everybody was doing something different. Even the Metaplex team itself did 5 collections differently. At the time, I was running product from Solflare, and we noticed that if we have more than 10 collections on Solana, we'll have a big problem with how we can show them if they all do things differently. And it wasn't really sustainable writing different code to recognize different collections. So we wrote a document asking people that if you want your NFT to show in our wallet, this is how you should write a JSON file. And Metaplex team liked it and asked us if they can use it as the official Solana standard, which of course we said, that sounds like a good idea. That was July 30th, and that was, in my opinion, the last thing that was missing for the craziness to start. One other thing that I'll mention is Solana Art, which launched somewhere in July by the team that did Sol Punks, which we met a bit before, as a way to keep earning from them from the secondary market, but then understood that they should probably make it a marketplace that gets them some money from other collections too, so they started thinking in that direction. And we finally come to August, and something that people outside Solana probably recognize, which is the picture on the right, Solana Monkey Business. Still considered the original Solana PFP. It minted for days, it wasn't fast, it wasn't nice, it wasn't easy, it was kind of slow, but then it became one of the most important things that happened on Solana. And they minted on August 3rd. On the left is the first generation of Monkey Business that not a lot of people know about. They launched on June 2nd, but pretty much went completely unnoticed until the generation 2 happened. And now to the collection most people consider the main catalyst of the NFT boom on Solana, which is Dejan Ape Academy. One of the worst fail stories that ever happened, because they really managed to fail after fail on their mint, but it was the beginning, so it was still funny, and they really joked around it a lot. So on August 13th, the first mint was a big fail. 800 apes were minted, half of them didn't have pictures, then half of the rest didn't have anything but pictures, and then some of them had nothing, just tokens, and there were a few actually full apes. They stopped the mint. They called the Metaplex team to help them. And now those 800 apes still exist as a separate collection called Exile Apes. They restarted the whole thing the next day. People were really mad because they announced it only in their Discord. They were scared of getting swamped again. But finally, the collection minted out, 10,000 apes minted out the next day. And you could see, if you are in the space, you could see the change during like week before that. Everybody was talking about and everybody was showing art from them. You could see it's a big thing. And if we look at Solana chart here, you can see August 13th mark on it, which actually did kind of start the explosion of Solana. Not saying that Dejan Apes did it themselves, but like the NFTs definitely helped with all of these parts. Luckily, I'm not showing the last parts from today. So Candy Machine is the next topic I want to cover. After a few more mints that were kind of failed in different ways, Metaplex team finally understood that letting people handle minting with their own foolproof solutions wasn't really good, because they had to jump in and save like 10 more projects in the next few weeks. And they finally decided to create a smart contract which would allow anybody to easily mint a collection. You just had to upload the pictures, upload the JSON files, make it on, like, put it on some domain, and you were good. Like, you knew that it's going to go smooth, but even for users, it was a big step forward, because before that, all the mints before, you had to believe in the team because it was not in the same transaction. Like, you were practically sending Sol, hoping you get the NFT in your wallet, and finally, we came to, being sure that you're getting something for what you're putting in. Candy Machine got several iterations and improvements in the last 9 months, and it's still a staple for NFT mints in Solana. Even Magic Eden uses a version of, like, a modified version of Candy Machine for their launchpad to this day. You can find out more about them tomorrow at 11 when we have a panel with Shartful Monkey, who is here from Magic Eden. And the next one I want to talk about is Urori, just because they were the first collection that used Candy Machine to mint out. And they had something funny happen, and that's that the Metaplex developer made a mistake and set the price of mint to 1 Sol instead of 5 Sol, which they were really not happy about, but I do have a feeling that that was talked about so much during the next few weeks that it actually helped them more than hurt them in the long run. And maybe the last collection that I will cover, because it was a milestone, is Digitrash Pandas, and that was the first collection where true flaws of Candy Machine started being obvious. So Solana had no RNG on chain, and Candy Machine worked in a way that you randomized the numbers before and fed it into the smart contract before the mint. Somebody finally took some time, decided to scrap all the JSON files, find out which NFTs will be rare, get the randomized list, and understood exactly what order they need to, which NFT they need to mint to get the rare ones. And they had a lot of bots who would spam millions of transactions at the right time, trying to catch the rare ones. And I think over 70% of the mythical trash pandas were taken by those kind of people. But that made the push of creating the version 2 of Candy Machine to stop that problem. And now, in theory, if Solana works, it actually works like it should. I could talk about Solana NFTs for hours, but I think the story I covered so far covers the most of the things that you won't hear if you join the space now. There is also a lot of cool things happening lately. We have several really successful launch pads, a lot of collections. Like I think that 2 months ago, we passed 10 million NFTs on Metaplex mark. Some other things that you maybe seen or heard about that are kind of interesting is like DGods is at the moment the highest market cap NFT collection on Solana. They decided to buy a basketball team. OK Bears appeared a few weeks ago and broke all records, got Ethereum people interested. Just to give you an idea, the trading volume on them in 24 hours was 200,000 SOL. And their floor went from like 1.5 to 200 SOL in 10 days. Rare ones already sold for 1,500 SOL and so on. And we've seen through the time a lot of famous faces and people getting either using Solana PFPs or getting into the space. For example, Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal both have their collections on Solana. And to close this with something not so positive, but I just couldn't miss out considering the name of the talk is How NFTs Made Solana Explode. And then it happened that that's true in more than one way. We agreed about the title before this happened, but on August 30th, Solana did really explode because of the NFTs. Bots trying to get hyped mints has been a problem for a while on Solana. Because of the speed and the cheapness of the chain, it was actually profitable to send millions and millions of transactions of the same transaction to catch one NFT. And if you sold it, you would still be in big profits. So if there was a mint that people knew it was hyped, it had people ready to buy on secondary, bots would really be going crazy. And there was one mint that was kind of in that category on April 30th. And the validators got so overwhelmed that they desynced, forked, and the network came to halt. Luckily, 7 hours later, validators found the latest snapshot, shared it, restarted the network. But it wasn't really cool. And we can see here on their postmortem saying that 6 million transactions per second were trying to be sent by those bots during that time. Now, I honestly think that the future of NFTs on Solana is very bright. The speed, cost, scalability, awesome user experience are really good arguments why NFTs will continue to exist on Solana. That problem that we've seen was already solved. Metaplex team just the day later made some changes which, at least on using candy machine mints, won't allow something like that to happen. I hope you enjoyed this little story, and if you have any more questions about the NFTs on Solana, want to get involved in any way or want to learn more, feel free to catch me afterwards. I'll be around. And now, 3 minutes and 49 seconds of me shilling myself. So, Blast Control is the consultancy agency that we launched on October, which worked with over 25 projects on Solana so far. And our biggest problem has been bandwidth. We don't have enough people and enough time to work with all the projects that want to work with us. One of the main reasons why we wanted to be on this conference is to meet people who have some experience in the space. So if you are considering a career in crypto, doing anything from shitposting on Twitter to making a business strategy to banning people on Discord or just brainstorming about things, we want to talk to you. Please get in touch and we can help more projects together. And of course, follow me on Twitter so when I shill my own bags, it looks better with bigger numbers. Thank you very much.